Hi there, my name is Michael Woods. I'm outside the Ministry of Sound in London where I'm DJing tonight using my iPad. So if you come with me, I'll show you how it's done. So here we are in the DJ booth for the Ministry of Sound. We're going to be playing later on tonight using my iPad to control Ableton, and I'm going to show you how it's done. Basically, you need to download two things. Firstly, TouchAble, which you can get from the Apple App Store. It's about £5, something like that. And the second thing is the TouchAble server, which is basically free of charge. You can get that from the TouchAble website. It's www.touch-able.com. Once you've installed that, the next step is to set up a wireless network so you can use it on the fly. So to do that, you need to go into your network preferences and you need to go to the option where it says create a network. And you can just go ahead and call it TouchAble, just so you know what you're talking about. And what I do is require a password just so that no one can hack in and mess up your set halfway through. So just go ahead and do that. So that's set up. Now you need to configure that by going into Open Network Preferences. And if you select Advanced, select this tab here, TCP/IP, and you need to select manually, which is on at the moment. And I like to use this address for all of my sets. It's 192.168.2.1, and then the subnet mask is 255.255.255.0, and then you press apply. So that's setting the network up on your computer. Then you need to go ahead and do that on the iPad. And then we go to settings on the iPad. We're going to Wi-Fi here, and we select the network which we've just created, which is TouchAble 2. And what you need to do is hit this blue arrow here so you can configure the settings. Select static, which is on at the moment, and we need to set the IP address as 192.168.2.2, and the subnet mask, which is the same as here, which is 255.255.255.0, and then we're okay to go. And select the network, password, which I've set. So that's now connected wirelessly to the computer. And then we need to load up TouchAble, which is a program we downloaded. And that pops up a little window. And we need to select here, TouchAble 1 in both of these, keys and drums. And you can see it's working because the network here is the same network number that we've just set up. And then we need to go ahead and load up Ableton. And once that's loaded up, we can then go and boot up TouchAble on the iPad. And you can see the network's the same. So we go ahead and press connect. We give it a couple of seconds. And that's loaded up. And as you can see, that's an exact representation of all the clips that are on the screen. So there's actually 5 sections to this. The first one here is clips, and that basically shows you all the clips that are loaded on your page on Ableton, and it even names them as well. Next one down is your mixer, which gives you all your faders. Next one down is devices, which allows you to control any effects you've got loaded up. Next one down is keys to play any instruments, and the next one down is pads, which can control things like drums. This allows you to control 2 things at once. You can split the screen in half. So for example, if you want to control clips and device at the same time, you press clips at the top and device at the bottom, and it allows you to control the 2 things at once. Now just to run through some effects I've set up, if we go to channel 1, you can see I've got an EQ effect here. Then I've got this thing here called Audio Effects Rack, which basically controls what I've got here, 3 effects. The first one is Auto Filter. second one is reverb, and the third one is beat repeat. And what this allows you to do is to control any of these elements here by these things called macros. And these macros then translate to the iPad. So for example, I've set the cutoff frequency of the auto filter to macro 1. So as I move, if we go into the audio effects rack on the iPad, as I move up this fader here, you can see this slider goes up here, and you can see the low frequency gets cut off here. Similarly, the macro 2 controls the reverb, and as this goes up here, you can see it's increasing here, and the decay time and the dry wet is increasing here. And pretty much the same thing for the beat repeat. So we just select a track at random, which happens to be one of mine. No bias there at all. Let's bring the volume up. And just to add some effects to show you those in action, go down to devices here. Select the device for that particular channel, which is here. This will start to cut out the bass. And you can see the representation of the screen as this goes up. You can see it sliding across here. Macro 2 controls the reverb unit. Three and 4 will control your beat repeat. And that's pretty much the effects. And if you want to mix in another track, quite simply, just select whichever track you want on any spare channel. So for example, channel 3. That's why I was bringing the volume. Bring down the volume of the first track. And that's pretty much it.